Please excuse how I look. Mom life. I thought he'd be down for a nap by now, and he isn't. And this is the best time for me to film, so he's here with me. But it's kind of perfect because this is my birth story. My birth story plus how postpartum has been going for me, honestly. Again, also, excuse how I look. I haven't put makeup on since I think my baby shower. And even that was a bit much for me. So this is, you're getting the raw, real me right now of postpartum me, but that's fine. I'm good. But hey guys, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. So it has been a minute since I posted a video, and that's because I had a baby. You guys, I'm a mom. It's wild to say. I don't know. It's just weird to say that I'm a mom. I never really, I always wanted to be a mom and I thought this day would come. It's just like wild that it's actually here and I'm a mom. But we are almost 3 months postpartum. He's almost 3 months old and it has been a ride. That's for sure. I'm actually filming this the weekend of Mother's Day, so I'll probably post this on Mother's Day if I get to editing it. Hopefully I do. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and just talk about my birth story and like how postpartum life has been for me so far. So baby boy, he came at 38 weeks and like 5 days. I was induced, so I don't know if I said it before in a video, but I've had high blood pressure in the past, and that was one of the things that they really watched for me throughout my pregnancy. So my doctor and I had discussed it, like starting at 20 weeks, that I was probably going to be induced that I was going to be induced just because of my high blood pressure, and then monitoring it. They usually do that with women who are higher risk because of their blood pressure. I think because of, the risk of preeclampsia. So I knew I was going to be induced around 38 weeks. So he came 38 weeks and 5 days. And it was not the labor that I thought I was going to have, but I didn't go into labor with like a strict plan. I know there are some women that go in with like a complete birth plan, like labor plan. I think it's a birth plan. I think they call it birth plan, but like written out, like the rules that they have to follow and all these things. Like they want to do a vaginal birth. They don't want epidural. They don't want doctor doing this, blah, 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 blah. I so heartedly went in there just trusting my doctor because I trust her, and she's a great doctor and I chose her for a reason. So I wholeheartedly just went in there like, what is best for me, what is best for baby, we're going to do that. So that was my whole mindset going into my birth and my labor and all of that. So we actually went in for my doctor's appointment at 38 weeks because we knew that we were going to be induced like around that day. That was a Tuesday. So we went in, my doctor's appointment was at like 8 in the morning. And we get there, we see the doctor, she checks me, everything looks good. And she's like, yeah, we want to go ahead and induce you. So she like calls down to the hospital to make sure that there's space for me. They have space, so we go in. So because I'm being induced, they have to do, they're the whole process of starting labor for me. And there's this one specific thing, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a 12-hour process to basically get labor started. And because I was high risk, they put me on the antepartum floor, which I didn't realize was a thing, but that's for high risk pregnancies. So I had to be on that floor, and to get the labor started, it was this, I legit don't remember what it was called, but it's something that they have to put inside you that kind of starts the whole process of your labor. And I had to basically lay flat on the bed for 12 hours straight. So again, we went in Tuesday. This was Tuesday at 8. We got admitted to the hospital at, it was like 10:30, something like that. And they started the process at 11. So for the first 2 hours, I had to lay completely flat Could not move, could not get up. Wild. After the first 2 hours, I was allowed to get up, but it was really just to like go to the restroom, come back. Okay, so that was the whole thing. So I think once they told us it was going to take 12 hours thing, and we started at 11 a.m., meaning this whole process was going to take until at least 11 p.m., I kind of had a feeling he was not going to come in those first 12 hours that Tuesday. Like, I just had a feeling he wasn't going to come that Tuesday, which was fine. That was fine. So that was the whole process. My husband was there with me the whole time. My parents had come in because my mom was coming to stay with us. So my parents were there. They came in and sat with us for a little bit. My husband's mom came in. She sat with us for a little bit. So that was like the first day. When it got to like towards 11 o'clock at night, my parents went home. His mom went home. We were kind of in a smaller room, so there wasn't a lot of space in there anyway. So that was fine. And so after the 12 hours, that's kind of when labor starts and you start contracting. And, you know, at that point they were giving me like Tylenol to deal with the pain because it hadn't been that bad. And the nurses kept telling me, here's the thing, I wasn't against pain meds. I was not against pain meds. I know me in pain, so I was not against getting an epidural or taking pain meds, anything like that. Right? So when labor started and the contractions started, I just was like, so when the contractions started, you know, they were giving me like extra strength Tylenol, and the nurse kept saying, if you need something more, let me know. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be fine. And I started realizing in pregnancy, you get Braxton Hicks contractions. So I was having those and didn't realize it. I thought it was just like him moving in slow motion in my stomach. And when I started actually contracting in the hospital, I was like, I was having contractions that whole time and didn't know it. But it's fine. So I started having contractions and I was doing pretty good for a couple hours. You okay? So I was doing really good for a couple of hours, and I think the nurse could see on me that I was in pain, and she was like, whenever you're ready, we can call down to go get the epidural, and then that would really like start the labor process. And I was like, I'm fine, I'm okay. But I was suffering through it. At one point, the on-call doctor had to come in because my doctor wasn't there, and she did a cervix check. You guys, that is the most pain I have ever been in, is a cervix check. It is so painful because they're checking your cervix to see if you're dilated, but it's the worst pain I've ever been in my life. I cried so hard. That was, it's 0 out of 10, do not recommend. The worst pain. Anyways, so I think it was around like 2:32 a.m. I was like, I can't take it anymore. I think I need the epidural. So they called the anesthesiologist to get me set up, and they're like, okay, we'll bring you down. So they bring me down to the labor and delivery floor, and that's when everything really gets started. The anesthesiologist comes in and puts the epidural in, which I know people always get worried about the epidural and like scared about the needle and everything. I don't even remember the needle pain of the epidural. Like, I kind of remember it going in, but not really. You know what hurt? My IV was in my hand. That needle hurt. That needle hurt the worst. And that was in the whole time I was in the hospital. That hurt. But yeah, so I get the epidural at like 3 a.m. and they're like, okay, things are going to get started, but it's probably going to be a minute. Take a nap. At this point, I had been at the hospital so long, I could only, because I had started labor, I couldn't have any food. I could only have liquids. So, of course, I had a catheter in, and all I had was water and, like, I think I had water, juice, and, like, bone broth is what I had this whole time. So I think I slept from, like, 3 a.m. to, like, 6, 7, something like that. And, you know, at this point, we're just waiting to see if I dilate. So it all became a waiting process at that point to see if I was dilating. They had been monitoring me, like my blood pressure, and they were monitoring his blood pressure and his heart rate, just making sure that he was okay and everything was fine. And it was to the point where I had gotten my epidural and I was starting to be numb on my legs. So that was good. And, you know, whenever I was ready to push out, that I was pretty numb to it and could just push and get him out, you know, that whole kind of thing. And that turned into an entire day of just waiting. I was not dilating far enough. My parents were there. My mother-in-law came in and out. I was there so long that when I got my epidural, the nurse that gave me, like, admitted me and put me in the room and got me set up and everything, she left and went home. And when she came back, I still hadn't had my baby. So I was literally, it took forever. So it was about, I want to say it was like 11 p.m. the next night. So this is Wednesday night. And they're still checking me, they're still checking baby, and still, like, I'm not there, right? My doctor comes in. Oh, my doctor had come in a couple of times. My doctor, you know, she didn't stay the whole time because she was doing rounds and all that stuff. She had come in around, I want to say 11 p.m. and she actually had to leave and go home because she had been on call for 24 hours. And she was like, you know, if baby comes throughout the night, if it's vaginal, then I will come back, deliver your baby. One of the main reasons that I picked this doctor is because she was like, I deliver majority of my babies. And I wanted her to deliver my baby. She was a woman of color. Great woman. I could ask her anything. She was very informative with everything. I loved her. So she came in and she was like, you know, they'll call me, I'll come in, we can deliver, push, you know, you can push them out, whatever. Well, by, I want to say like 12:30, like midnight, 12:30, they checked my cervix again and I'm 5 centimeters. And I had been in labor for like 37 hours at that point. It just wasn't happening. My water had been broke. My doctor had come in like earlier on Wednesday and she actually broke my water. I don't think she even did it on purpose. I think she was just trying to do a cervix check and she broke my water. And my legs had been numb for almost 24 hours because of the epidural. I was tired. My parents were like sleeping in their car trying to get some sleep. My mother-in-law was in the waiting room sleeping. My husband was tired. Like it was the process. I was exhausted because I couldn't really sleep because I couldn't get comfortable, and then I couldn't move myself because my legs were numb. So they kept having to come in and like rotate me like every couple of hours. Like it was just the longest process. So we finally, the on-call doctor comes in, and at one point she was like, well, let's just keep monitoring. And there was a nurse, she was a black nurse, and I promise I looked at my husband and I looked at that nurse and I was like, you want me to keep waiting? It literally had been like 37 hours and I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. I was like, if I have to do a C-section to get him out, like, we're doing that. So they went and talked, doctor and nurse came back and they're like, okay, we're gonna get you set up for a C-section. So I ended up having a C-section. The only problem was my doctor couldn't come give me the C-section because she had been on call for 24 hours and it wouldn't have been safe for her, you know, like lack of sleep and everything. So I did have a different doctor that was on call to do my C-section. But luckily at my doctor's office, they let you do a rotation in your pregnancy so you can meet all the other doctors. And that way you're comfortable enough, you can talk to them, ask them questions. So the doctor that actually performed my C-section, I had met with her. I actually really liked her. She was really nice. She was another woman of color. She wasn't black, but she was another woman of color. And she was super sweet, super nice lady. It's the sweetest lady. So I felt really comfortable going into my C-section. Everybody was super nice. They have all hands on deck when you have a C-section. I think there was like 10 doctors and nurses total in the room. They had my husband in the room. It was actually a pretty quick process too. I think it was maybe like a 30-minute procedure. C-section is wild. Like, so I was still already pretty numb from my epidural, and I think they still had me on some stuff while I was in there, but you're fully awake during a C-section. So I'm fully awake. And it's funny too, because they put like a sheet up so that you can't see them like cutting and taking the baby out. However, in the operating room, there's like these like lights that are kind of like metal. So I could kind of see what was going on, so I was trying not to look at it too much. My husband is 6'3" and he could easily see over the curtain, but he was like, I'm not gonna look. But he was there with me the whole time, and the anesthesiologist is on the other side of me, and he's talking to me the whole time. Everybody's super nice. They're like playing music, and everybody's just, it felt really comfortable. And baby boy was out within like 30 minutes, and it's wild, like the way they have to get them out in a C-section. They like literally have to push on your stomach to get the baby out. And there was like 5 doctors pushing on my stomach at one point, getting him out. But yeah, he's here, and I was in labor for about 39 hours giving birth to him. He actually isn't as big as we thought, or he wasn't as big as we thought we were gonna have, or he was going to be. The girl that did like all the sonograms and stuff for my pregnancy, she kept predicting his size. We thought he was gonna be over 8 pounds. He was actually 7 pounds 9 ounces, which still big baby. I think that's above average, but yeah, he was here. It was a long 2 days. I went in Tuesday morning. I had him at like 1:50 on Thursday morning. So yeah, it was a long process. That Wednesday was probably the longest day ever. I hadn't eaten anything, so I was so hungry. I was exhausted because I couldn't sleep either. And then you still don't get to sleep after that, because then you're in recovery, and he was trying to latch for the first time. I feel very blessed of the people that I had around me. I loved the hospital that I gave birth in. I loved all the doctors. I loved all the nurses. Everyone was super sweet. It's actually funny, after recovery, when they send you to your room, so the first nurse we had, when they sent us to our room, she was actually about to get off because I got there at like 6:30, so she was getting off at 7. But she was the one explaining everything to me, and she had this really thick accent, and she was talking so fast explaining stuff. And I was like, I was following her, but I wasn't following her, and she was like, are you getting this? And I was like, uh-huh. It was actually kind of funny. She was really nice though. Like, I think she knew that I was struggling, but it wasn't from her accent. It was just because she was talking fast. And I was like, whoa. I was like, ma'am, I've been up for 48 hours. Give me a break. But yeah, it was nice. I ended up staying in the hospital until that Saturday, because I had a C-section. So they just had to make sure everything was good. No infections, no tears, anything like that. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to have a C-section, but I was okay if it ended up being that. And, baby boy is very healthy. I'm very healthy. We came out great, and I'm very blessed to have him and all the people around me. It was a journey for sure. I didn't know there were like certain things that I've learned from having a C-section that I didn't know were things like, you have to stay really hydrated after you give birth and everything. Apparently you can't use a straw after you have a C-section because of like gas bubbles or something like that. So I couldn't use a straw for like 6 hours after I had my baby. I couldn't drive. I didn't realize this, but I couldn't drive for 6 weeks after I had him, because of like, when you use the pedals and you're stopping, it's like using certain muscles that are like right at where your incision is. So I couldn't drive for 6 weeks. The healing process wasn't bad. My scar, I do have a scar, but you can't really see it. It's not that bad. It does still like have pain occasionally, but it's not too bad. I had ended up buying like all the postpartum things that they tell you to buy. So I had like the cooling pads and the diapers and the dermaplast and like the Tux pads that she put on that. I didn't need most of that. Now you do still bleed just like any other birth, so I was still using like the diapers and stuff like that, but I didn't have to use like any of the dermaplast or the Tux or the cooling pads or anything like that. So I mean, that was nice, although I had spent my money on that stuff, but that's fine. But yeah, I was in diapers for a while. Me and my baby both in diapers 4 weeks together. My mom actually came to stay with us. She was with us for 4 weeks, which I like could not have done this without her. She was supposed to go home earlier, And I cried the night before she was supposed to leave because I just was not ready for her to leave. And so she ended up taking another week off of work to stay with me. So I'm very blessed to have my mother. She is an angel. She is amazing. She was so good with us. She took shifts with us. Like, she made sure we were fed. And, you know, having her own babies, she was able to help us with our baby, anything we needed. She's been amazing. Yeah, my dad came for a couple of weekends to stay with us. My mother-in-law lives not that far from us, so she was coming to see us. And yeah, that was pretty much the only people we saw for like the first couple of weeks. We weren't really leaving the house. We only left the house for doctor's appointments. And that was about it, really. If we needed something from the store, my husband went and my mom stayed with me with the baby. I really didn't leave the house that much for those first 6 weeks. And it's been a lot, but he's such a blessing. And I love being a mom. I love him. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I actually go back to work soon, which I'm happy and not happy about. Like, you know, I'm blessed to have a job to be able to go back to, but I just wanna snuggle with him all day. But I do work from home, so that's nice. So I will be at home with him. But yeah, work is coming. My husband went back to work. We're making it. We're making it. So I did end up choosing to breastfeed. I wanted to at least try that before we went into formula, just as a money saving kind of process, and just I know they get so many good nutrients from breast milk, so I wanted to try breastfeeding. And we are almost 3 months in of breastfeeding. I actually switched from combo feeding of breastfeeding and bottle feeding to just strictly bottle feeding, and I exclusively pump now. It was starting to be too much on me to try to do both. I was getting a little overwhelmed, and I was a bit anxious the first couple of weeks at home, and it was just a lot for me, which he did fine latching to both. Like, he was fine latching on to me, and he was fine taking a bottle, but we just ended up doing just strictly bottle. That way also my husband could feed him. My mom was here, she could feed him. When my dad comes visit, he could feed him, you know, my mother-in-law, anybody, you know. So I strictly am exclusively pumping now, and he takes the bottle. I have somehow become an overproducer. I have a freezer stock of breast milk at the moment, and I overproduce, which is I'm very, very blessed. I know that's not a normal thing. I feel like I've seen so many women that are overproducers, but also in this process of becoming a mom and just seeing other people's stories, I've also discovered that there are a lot of women that just produce maybe enough or not enough and have to combo feed with formula. So I truly know that I am blessed that I am an overproducer. And I've actually been able to donate some of my milk to a friend of mine who is also a brand new mother. And I think she's more of a just enough kind of producer, but I wanted to, you know, help her out in the best way that I could. And you don't want the breast milk to go bad anyway. So I went ahead and donated some milk to her, and yeah, I feel very blessed that I had that opportunity to do that while also being able to fully feed my own child. So that's been really nice. I will say breastfeeding is, like, pumping is a little exhausting just because you can't go too long without pumping, because your body will be like, oh, you don't need it? All right, cool. Or you run into the case of you could develop mastitis and get blocked ducts. I have had a few blocked ducts before, and they are so painful. So, you know, if you are a mom out there or a soon-to-be mom and you plan on breastfeeding and pumping, just make sure you do it on a regular schedule, because there are things that can happen, painful things. So just make sure you're doing it. That's the one thing also, is like sleeping throughout the night. Like, there's no way I could go like an 8-hour stretch without pumping. Like, you have to wake up in the middle and pump, unfortunately. So your sleep it's just interrupted all the time, but it's okay. We're making it. My husband and I, like, since my mom has left, we've like worked out a schedule with our sleeping, just to make sure that we're both getting enough sleep throughout the day, just to be able to function and everything. So that's good. And I'm still pumping, feeding my baby. We're making it. It's funny too. I was gonna make I'll probably make a video later of like panic buys that we've bought since he's been home. It's funny, you build this whole baby registry of things that you know you're gonna need or you want, and it's like they get here and it's like you need so many more things. I like the amount of Amazon like purchases that we've made in these first 3 months is wild. Like, you think you have everything before baby comes from your shower, and like you don't. The one thing I will say that we have not had to get yet is diapers. We had 2 showers, and we did a diaper raffle at both of them. So we have a lot of diapers. We have a lot of wipes. We'll probably have to get more wipes sooner than diapers, but we have like a mountain of diapers in his room right now. So that's good. Him sleeping. So he sleeps very well. Like you guys see, he just fell asleep on me throughout this. The only problem is most of his naps throughout the day are contact naps, so he likes to sleep on me. He really only sleeps in his bassinet at night. I don't know if it's because there's light during the day and he's like, no, this is like, I'm not sleeping in my bassinet right now. What are you talking about? So we're still working on naps throughout the day in the bassinet, but he does sleep at night in the bassinet pretty well. And then most of his naps throughout the day are contact naps on either me or my husband. When my mom's here, on my mom. Like, he just likes sleeping on us, which is fine. I just know going back to work is probably going to be an issue, but we'll work on it. But he's getting better. He's starting to sleep longer throughout the night without interruptions of waking up or like getting up for a bottle. I think we've gotten less bottles overnight because he's going longer stretches, so that's nice. He is eating, he's like really good at 4 ounces every bottle now, and he's starting to get a little bit more. I'm trying out like a little bit more before he goes to bed, see if that helps him sleep a little longer. So yeah, we're there on that. He's growing. Oh, that is another thing. So because we thought he was going to be so big, we really didn't get a lot of like newborn size things. When people say don't buy the newborn, do not listen to them. Buy the newborn sizes, okay? My baby was 7 pounds, 9 ounces, and 0 to 3 was like so big on him. And we had mostly 0 to 3 clothes. So we had to buy more newborn like onesies and sleepers. And even some of those were like swimming on him, like the newborns were too big. Like, you guys, make sure you get newborns. If you don't listen to people that say, oh, you're not going to use them, you're not going to need them. Like, he can still fit some of his newborn clothes. So get newborns, get 0 to 3. It also depends on the brand. So some run smaller, some run bigger, kind of thing. I found my favorite onesies are from Old Navy, these like ribbed ones. He kind of has one on right now. But yeah, so I really like the Old Navy ones, the ribbed ones. They stretch, they feel buttery. They're amazing. I love them. I feel like every time I go into the store now, I'm looking in the baby section and bringing home a onesie for him. It's just a habit. He's gonna have a bunch of clothes. It's fine. I think my mom keeps buying him stuff. My mother-in-law has bought him stuff. My husband buys him stuff. Kids got clothes, okay? I think that's kind of all I really wanted to talk about, was just, you know, my birth story. I was in labor for 39 hours. We are making it. I will say again, I'm tired, but I feel like it's a good tired because I know I'm just, you know, I'm taking care of another human being. It's wild to me, you know. I get the whole millennial thing now because I feel like most of us have waited to have kids until our 30s, and we're like, I feel like I'm a teen mom, but I'm 34. But I just feel like, how am I taking care of another human when I can barely take care of myself? But I'm just kidding. He's amazing. I love him. He's so cute. He's so cute, you guys. We're not really, I know you can kind of see him a little bit, but we're not really sharing him. I don't want to share him too much on here. Like, you guys will see me doing mom things, but I don't want to share his face. We're not going to share his name, just for privacy reasons. Maybe once he's older, we will, but at the moment, I don't really want to. I don't want to put him out there like that. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm having some anxieties of going back to work, but I'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm strong. I have my husband. We have family close. if need be. We have friends close if need be. This kid has so many aunts and uncles. It's ridiculous because our friends are so close. They'll probably call them aunts and uncles. So he's very blessed. He's very loved. So, yeah. Yeah, that is my birth story. That's how postpartum life is going. What do they call this? The fourth trimester. It's been one. But we are enjoying life. We are enjoying him. He is the sweetest, cutest little baby. He just started like cooing and like laughing, and it just melts my heart, you guys. I'm a mom. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get this edited and uploaded on Mother's Day as like hey, it's my first Mother's Day. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear you guys' birth stories. Like, if you guys have anything to relate to, some things that I talked about, I'd love to hear them. I've been watching a lot of like mom videos, mom vlogs, and like first time moms and stuff like that. So it's been fun. But yeah, I plan on having some videos coming for you guys. I have a vlog coming that was like a solo day in my life with baby boy. My husband went back to work, so I was at home by myself with baby boy, so I have a vlog like that coming. I did record a bunch of stuff of like me nesting before I had him. I've been so tired that I haven't had the energy to edit all the footage and put it together. But if you guys want to see that, let me know down below, and I will make sure to get that out for you guys, see how we prepared. It was just me nesting, like getting the room together for him, our baby showers, opening presents, all that stuff. So if you guys want to see that, let me know down below. I will make sure to get that out for you guys. I do have some more of my regular like content that I do coming to you guys. I have a Dollar Tree haul that I'm probably gonna film after this that I want to get out to you guys, and then some other videos. So I'm trying to really come back and be here, be present for you guys. I'm trying my hardest to like be consistent on here and try to be a little successful. I've realized that within my two channels that I've had, this one and my book channel, I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years, and I feel like I've been slacking. So your girl's trying. I'm gonna try my hardest now for sure and get content out to you guys. And yeah, I'm ready for this new journey in life with baby boy, and hopefully I'll bring you guys along with me, and we'll just see how it goes. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for letting me share my story with you guys. But yeah, if you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe down below. We are on the journey to hit 1,000 subscribers, you guys. So make sure you are subscribed down below. I'll bring more content to you guys. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe down below. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.